Y'all looking for me? Oh, please. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. You in the number one place to be. Everybody, boys and girls, you about to kick it with Key. I'm your number one hustler with the muscles like me. Hey, let's get it done. Kick it with Key. Hey, everyone. So welcome to Kicking It with Key. If you don't mean my... there's going to be a lot of that probably during this YouTube channel time. That's why I'm not going to start over. So if you don't know me, my name is Nakia. I also go by Kia, so kicking it with Key. That's me. So welcome to my lovely area in my room with my elephant background that I'll be using to make these videos for this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for the first week, I'll always try to explain all the different kind of things that we'll cover here. So pretty much the premise of this channel is just hanging out with me. We're gonna talk about life. We're gonna have motivational days. We're gonna have days where we talk about random stuff that I saw happening on the street, or random things that are happening with me, or what I've experienced with certain people, or stories that I've heard. Sometimes we'll talk about fitness motivation, which has been a huge part of my life for a very long time. We'll talk about weight. We'll talk about image within the media. We'll talk about everything, and hopefully it gets to the point where people can start saying the things that they would like to hear about, or would love for me to talk about, or to expound on. And then hopefully we'll get to the point where I can start bringing in some people, so you can meet people from different backgrounds who do all sorts of different things, because I know so many people, and I think it's important that everyone has a platform to get their message out. So today I wanted to talk about something that I just experienced in the store. We'll make this a very quick backstory, because I'm pretty certain on one of these episodes this will be longer. I have been overweight, or fat, or obese, or whatever you'd like to call it, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever floats your boat, pretty much since the fifth grade. I actually have it in pictures. Yeah, since about the fifth grade. So I have always dealt with image issues, as far as, people being like, oh, you're cute for a big girl, or, people bullying me or making fun of me, or all those kind of issues, all those kind of things. Pretty much once I hit high school, I had to come into my own understanding of myself, and was like, yes, I may be fat, but I'm not ugly. So literally that was my attitude. I was shielding myself from all that hurt, that pain that other people, I was allowing them to cause me by saying those things about me, by focusing on what I felt was a strong thing about me, which was my face, which is my face. And as I've grown, I am now 26, well out of schooling and all that stuff. This is still an issue that I struggle with every single day. There are some days where I look in the mirror and I think, wow, you've come so far. Not only in terms of, my weight, but in terms of what I think about myself when I look in the mirror. There are certain days I look at myself and I go, how did you get to this place? How? I think back to when I lost a lot of weight and I'm like, why am I still not at that weight? How did I gain this weight back? Or I think back to a time where I thought I was fat and then looked back at a picture and was like, you weren't fat, blah, 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 blah. But I bring all that up to say I was just in the store buying some things, and while I was in the store, I, of course, like someone who acts like she didn't know better, walked into the candy and chip and cookie and snack aisle, and I literally walked up and down that aisle about 5 times. And every single time I walked up and down that aisle, I kept telling myself, is this feeding the future that you want? Is this feeding into a life of health and wellness, and helping you and allowing you to continue to feel empowered about the choices you make? Or are you reverting back to some pain, some hidden issue that is not resolved, so you always come back to this place? Because I kept saying to myself, I don't want anything in this aisle. I don't need anything in this aisle. It's not necessary for me to even be in this aisle. So why am I here? And why do I have to literally fight with myself to walk away from this aisle without picking anything up? And I know I'm not the only one who has those thoughts. And it doesn't have to do with size either. Literally, you could be a size 2 and still have those same thoughts. You could be a size 28 and still be those same thoughts, whatever. So it really is all in here. And I felt I did a great job. I didn't pick up any of the things that I knew I wanted but didn't need. And yet, I literally walked the rest of the way home telling myself or asking myself, what is it? What's the issue? What makes you feel like some days you really don't want to work out? And I'm beyond the point of working out because I hate my body. I'm already at the point where I work out because I know that I love my body and I love to move. I love to dance. I love to be active. So what is it that now has been hindering me from doing those things? What's the issue? So I was asking myself that the whole time. Why have you stopped wanting to work out? Why do you walk into a grocery store, get all the things that you know you need and that actually will nourish you as food is meant to do, and still go into the aisle that has no kind of nourishment for your actual mind, body, or soul, and doesn't make you feel good when you have it? Because there are sometimes, sometimes we'll have our favorite junk food or, our favorite feel-good food, and we don't indulge, we don't overindulge. We have it, we move on, we do what we got to do, right? But then there are times where we do too much. And I've been known to be a doer, toer, mucher. So I have tried my best to talk myself out of doing too much when I go into these grocery stores. But literally I'm walking and I'm thinking, you're so much stronger than this. You know it. You're so strong. You have been down so many different roads with this journey. You have been criticized. You have been judged. You've been misjudged. And it has hurt you to your core, all because of your size. In all actuality, being overweight for me has caused me more pain than happiness. Because I didn't know at an early age how to really, truly handle that kind of disrespect, essentially. Because when you're a kid and you're dealing with other kids, we don't have filters. So kids will say whatever they want about you, and if you don't know how to deal with it, which most children do not because they are children, you internalize it. Then you become an adult, as I am today, who still has to talk themselves out of these kind of decisions, looking for comfort when I know there are a million other ways that if I really want comfort, I can find it. Yet I always revert back to this because there was no real way as a child to digest any of those issues or those things properly. And today I'm walking home, I'm talking to myself, I'm telling myself all those things, and I walk in the door and I go, maybe I should have the surgery. That's what I said to myself. And for a solid minute, while I was walking up the stairs into my apartment, I started to think, okay, well, how would this work? Because as an actress, a singer, a performer, it is my job to be present and to be ready at all times for when the next job comes. So if I decide to go and get this surgery, well, that's 6 to 8 weeks of recovery. I have to be taken care of for that to happen because you really don't have your full mobility. And for me, that means leaving where I am to go back home, because having surgery of that kind for weight loss and then sticking around New York City to try to heal for 6 to 8 weeks, I'm good, love, and joy. That would not work. So I'm sitting there thinking that for a whole minute, like, okay, well, how can I make it happen? How can I? And then it hit me after a minute of that, Nakia, no, you're 26 years old and you've lost weight before. You've done it. It's not impossible. And while that is the solution for some people to have the weight loss surgery, and for you, if that works, kudos, congratulations. In all honesty, I wish a lot of days it was something that I could bring myself to do. But realistically, it doesn't work for my life. And also, I'm a little too competitive to allow myself to get the surgery and to be proud. And I want to explain that. The competitive part of me says that I can literally do anything I set my mind to. Anyone who knows me knows that that's also what I believe. That's what I preach. If you want to do it, do it. There can be 1,000,001 obstacles facing you, and the only thing I would say to you is, so what? There's always obstacles. The time will never be right. There will always be something or someone that's in the way, and you are too nice to tell that thing to move, or to walk over it, or to push that person aside, or to say, I must go on. So let's get it done. No more excuses. So for me, and the mindset that I have literally accomplished every single thing that I have set my mind to since I was a child, except consistent weight loss. It's the only thing that I have not accomplished that I have set my mind to. And it makes me believe that my mind is not 100% set to it. But then the question is why? You know, and I bring all this up to ask you, what are your thoughts? What are the things in the back of your mind that you know you can do? You could do it 1,000,000 times over, yet every single time the time comes for it to get done, it seems that there are 1,000,001 obstacles, and for some reason, your voice does not work at that moment. You can't tell it to move. Your feet are glued to the floor. You can't move yourself out of the way. Your hands don't work. You can't gesture for it to move. It's like it's not trying to happen for you or work in your favor. And it's a bunch of bull. Bunch of bull. So today, I made that choice after a minute of telling myself, just do it. Just do it. Just figure out the rest later. I finally made that choice to say to myself, girl, stop. If you have to walk through the junk food aisle 1,000,000 times, every single time you go into a drugstore, I don't know why I just said drugstore. Anytime you go into a drugstore or a grocery store, whatever kind of store it is, any place that sells the junk food, if you got to walk up and down that aisle 1,000,001 times and tell yourself 1,000,001 times, this is not necessary for my life. I don't need this to protect me from anything. I don't have to run to food for comfort. I don't have to run to junk food for comfort. If I'm feeling hungry, there's actual food to eat. If I'm feeling bored, there are other things to do. If you have to tell yourself that 1,000,001 times for it to get done, then so be it. That's it. Like, all I can think of is Les Brown saying, sometimes you just need to tell that inner voice to shut up. Shut up. If I wanted to ask you your opinion, I would ask you. If I wanted to hear from you, honey, I'd call you up. But I'm not doing any of that. So shut up, move aside, and allow me to do what it is that I set my mind to do. That's it. Plain and simple. It'll get done. And that's the mindset that I want all of you to have. I share this story with you so that you know that it's not only you, whatever issue that you're having. This is my first episode. Episode? Is that what they call on the YouTube channels? I don't know. You're gonna like me. I'm gonna like you. We're gonna be best friends. Maybe I'll see you around the town. All right, guys. Happy Motivational Monday. See you soon. Bye.